Today at the Underground Trev Garage, we're going to be doing more welding. So there's another spot on the frame here, right at the bump stop, that is rotted out that I didn't catch. So we brought the Jeep for inspection, and this was the part that failed right here. So I'm going to have to cut that out and weld it back up and repair that section of frame, which I have to take some stuff out of the way, but it shouldn't be too hard to get to. And then there's one more spot here on the back, which is right here. That's getting a little iffy. There's actually, yeah, there's a hole. So I got another new mount to put here. We'll patch this section. We did finish patching up the frame on this side, on the driver's side. Obviously not the most professional looking job in the world, but believe me, it's actually stronger than it looks right there. Welded up fairly solid underneath. This bottom plate didn't come out too bad. See, there's a little bit of surface rust, so I just finished washing it, so once it dries off a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and throw one more coat of primer on here and then some paint just to try to keep everything a little bit protected to make it last a little longer. First order of business, though, before I even start cutting or welding on the frame is once we put this new door seal on, which this is the second one, because I had to rip the old one off, because here's what happens. No longer lines up. And what I think happened is when I welded this patch in here, it got too hot, it sucked the metal in, and now you have this gap here. So this hinge, actually you can see I had to shim the door up a little bit to get things to line up. And you can see it's off. This hinge got sucked in. So I got to get underneath here and bend the metal back out. Now obviously it's crap, let's be honest, this is crap. I have every intention of redoing this. Up until this point, we've really been rushing to kind of just get the little things on it fixed so that it can pass inspection. I got a couple more little things to fix. The weather out here is gorgeous right now. The weather's finally broken. It's almost 70 degrees out. Finally nice weather. So as the weather improves and after we get this to pass inspection and stick it up for another year, then Shell and I can really take our time and work some weekends on this thing and do a nice job repairing things and actually start restoring it rather than just trying to patch it together. Yeah, so I'm not sure how well this is going to work. Even worse. Some busted knuckles and some chipped paint later, but got it probably about as good as it's gonna get. Took it down to 2 shims instead of 3. Hammered on this, adjusted that, had to move the hinges all over the place, but that's probably about as light as I can close it. Won't work that way, but just, that's not too bad. A little bit of a slam, so you don't have to beat the crap out of it like before. So that'll just do for now. Yep, took the bump stop off, and that's kind of nasty. It was in this way. And here's what we're working with. Not too big a hole, but a hole nonetheless. That's not too bad right there. So I'm just gonna kind of cut it out a little bit, see if I can get the good metal. I might be able to save those bolt holes. Clean up the section after I cut it out and try and weld the plate in. Alright, got my hole cut out. Now it's time to just clean everything up real well. Alright, I fried my little cookie up, so that might be about as good as it's gonna get, because I don't think I have any more refills. But I should be able to weld that. I just gotta cut out a plate to fit right in there. See if I can do a better job than I did on the other side. Well, I know you guys have been hearing me say that I used to weld a lot better. The welder I have here doesn't quite get hot enough for what we're doing though. But this turned out much better than the other sections. It doesn't look terrible with some paint on it. Ground them down a bit, but yeah, a little rough. But you know what? Frame's patched. The other thing I did is I painted the whole frame with rust protectant or rust preventative paint. And some extra rust protector all around inside, like the rust inhibitor on the really bad spots. So, looks kind of nice actually. Got the back section with the hitch and the diamond plate. This original patched up section here. Whole frame underneath. Now I know it's not perfect. I know it needs a lot of work, but you know what? A little bit at a time. It's getting better.